Let's celebrate you. ChattState National Adult Student Week Celebration 2025.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcia Goolsby Barker, and I am Director of Adult Services here at Chattanooga State Community College, and I just want to give you a warm welcome. I am so glad you could attend the event this evening, and this is to celebrate you, our adult students. And I am also celebrating 40 years in higher education. So what better way to celebrate than with the students that I care about, and I'm so passionate about education. So I just want to thank you again for being here tonight. Some other exciting news that I would like to share. We just recently found out that Chattanooga State Adult Services had the highest increase out of all 13 TBR community colleges. Highest increase in adult student enrollment for age 24 and older for 2 consecutive years. Not 1, but 2. Thanks to all of you. We are also celebrating our 6-year anniversary of Tennessee Reconnect Student of the Week. For those of you that are a former or current Student of the Week, please stand.
I think I am.
So at this time, I want to introduce our panelists. And we're going to start eating before we start asking questions. But I just wanted to go ahead and get started while they're getting the food ready, because you know it is a big job. And I just want to give them a round of applause. Our food services, Christine and Sam, Samantha, and Olive Garden, I think they are doing a fabulous job, and I really do appreciate that.
That's your whole section.
So at this time, I'm going to introduce our panel. We have Michelle Buxton, 2023 graduate of Chattanooga State Community College, Tennessee Transfer Pathway, Social Work. She's going to share her update in a few minutes about where she is now. Amy Dowell. Amy graduates next month. With an associate's degree in English. And so she also works with me. She's my assistant. She works in adult services as a specialist, and she is doing an amazing job. Amy will also give you her update because she has some very exciting news to share. And I don't know why I keep going to this microphone, because I actually have a portable one on. Anthony Harris. Anthony graduated in 2021 after surviving the pandemic, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Wow. Can you imagine those that graduated around the pandemic? He has an Associate of Science degree in Construction Engineering Technology, and he will also share his amazing update. Andy Condry. Also a 2021 graduate of Chattanooga State, Associate of Applied Science degree in Nursing. And I can't wait for Andy to share his update with all of you. Someday, I want you to really look at these panelists, okay? Because someday one of you could be right up here on this panel. Actually, I just talked to one just a minute ago that is a future panelist. Stand up, Randa. She is an excellent speaker, so I know she's going to be graduating, and I said, can you be on the panel in the future? Yes. Okay, so Anthony Harris has kindly agreed to give blessing on the food that we are going to eat today. And then we're going to start forming a line. And I think Caroline and Sam can give us a thumbs up when they're ready. But we're going to go ahead and let him give blessing.
All right, guys, let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we just want to come before you, and we want to thank you, Father God, for this campus. We want to thank you for the teachers, the staff, and the students. Father God, we want to thank you for the opportunities that you provide here for those on this campus. Father God, I ask that you just bless each student in this room. I pray that you give them visions, dreams, and ideas that'll change the world. And Lord, I pray that you encourage the staff and the faculty, give them wisdom, and let them know that they are the ones setting the pace for that change. Father God, we just ask that you just bless everything on this campus. We ask that you bless this food and put a hedge of protection around the teachers and this very campus. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Okay, we are going to continue with our celebration. So again, I want to say welcome to the National Adult Student Week celebration and, of course, dinner. So our first question for our panelists, and again, what we're going to do is we're going to begin with Anthony Harris, and then Michelle Buxton, Amy Dowell, and Andy Condry. So our first question is, I would like to begin today's panel discussion by letting each panelist share an update regarding where are they now in their career or in their educational journey, or maybe both. Okay, so we will begin with Anthony Harris.
All right. Boy, who don't like being first, right? Where I'm at today is I actually launched my own company about 6 months ago. Wow. That came from helping other companies develop streams of revenue, and it just kind of led into me having my own company. We're doing really well. We're tracking the same growth rate as I was with the other companies, and it's a lot, but it's that's where it'll take you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Michelle Buxton.
Michelle Buxton. I am a student now at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and I am going for my bachelor's degree in social work. And how that came about was I went through the Tennessee transfer pathway when I left Chattanooga State and graduated. And that's where I am now, and I work part-time at an assisted living community called Dominion Senior Living.
I'm Amy Dow. I am a current student here at ChattState. I will be graduating in December with an emphasis on English, and I'll be transferring to Lee College in January. I'm going on to seek my bachelor's degree in theology and ministry, and then hopefully onto my master's for counseling. And so that's the pathway. I currently work with our beautiful director, Marcia Barker, in Adult Services, who is great. And I'll just take a moment to publicly thank her, because she truly is an advocate, not just for me, but for every adult student here. She has a passion for you and to see you succeed. And if she can make it happen, she certainly will. And so I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to be a student at ChattState, and I'm really excited to graduate in about a month.
Andy Condry.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, before I answer, where are my nursing students at? There you go. There we go. All right, awesome. Got a heart for y'all. I have been a medic for about 30-plus years and decided to get into the nursing program. And since graduating from the nursing program, I transitioned to a flight nurse position on the helicopter. Been flying for 20 years. So I got to move into that role on the aircraft. And I did that for a couple of years and then was offered a management role. So I'm now doing business development, a business development manager for Erlanger Life Force. And the road is wide open. So for all of my nursing students out there, all you got to do is just stay in the fight, because you're going to have doors open for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. And if everyone could pull in your microphone as you're speaking, that was great, Andy, yeah. Okay. And I do want to, I know Amy probably didn't want to share this, but I have something else I would like to share. She just got a fabulous scholarship to Lee University.
Show off.
Okay, question number 2. Again, we'll start with Anthony and work our way this direction. What motivated you to return to college as an adult student? Because we know how difficult it is being an adult student, right? Juggling work, family, and school is quite a challenge, and I commend all of you for doing that. So, Anthony, tell us, what motivated you?
Well, it's a good one to start out with. I ended up in Chattanooga because I was released from the state penitentiary system to a transitional discipleship housing here in Chattanooga. And while I was there, I developed a personal relationship with the Lord, and I started to believe that second chances were possible. So with with the new mindset and the new vision and the new desires and the new goals, I just needed someone to give me a chance. And when I heard about the Reconnect program, it opened that door up for me. And I actually originally came here I was doing electrical work, and I originally came here to get my diploma in industrial electricity because I thought it was going to help me move up at my job. But we can get into a little bit more depth of how that changed a little bit later, but it was for a second chance.
Beautiful. Well, that's a little hard to follow, but during COVID was a time of isolation for a lot of people. A lot of people lost their jobs. I raised my family first. My kids were all going to college. A couple of them had graduated. I lost my job due to COVID. And I already had some college credits, and my husband said, "Do you ever think about going back to school and finishing your degree?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I've thought about it, but it's like when and where?" I heard about Tennessee Reconnect. I got some information about it, and I started taking classes. And Marsha Barker is amazing. The whole program is amazing. I truly have a testimony. I will be the first generation graduate in my family.
Yeah.
Come on.
My father is Haitian. He came to this country when he was 20. And my mother lost her mom when she was 19 years old, so she never finished school. I have a brother that has a mental illness. And I've always wanted a career. I've had a job. I've had plenty of jobs. And I've had tenure on my job. But I said, it's time for me to get a career. And that's how my journey started.
I ended up coming to Chattanooga State just kind of out of an identity crisis. I moved to Chattanooga about 3 years ago because my husband had an incredible job opportunity that we just couldn't let pass by for him. That meant me leaving our home of 25 years where I had a business and I had family and friends and a life. I was also a worship pastor at my church. So to leave a place that you've been for 25 years was difficult for me. It was exciting for him because he had this brand new opportunity, but what was I supposed to do? Because I'm not the type of person just to sit around and do nothing. I always believe that there's more that we can go after. There's more to be had, but we have to make the steps forward to make that happen. And fortunately, my oldest son, his wife, and their baby, which was my first grandchild, they moved shortly after we did. thank goodness. They came to Chattanooga. My son's a firefighter. His wife was a school teacher. But it also, in the transition time, my son decided to come back to school because he wanted to do something to add to his firefighter career. And through him, I learned about Tennessee Reconnect. And for me, it was a no-brainer to finally just go and have a new career. I had a salon. I did hair for 34 years. And the thought of coming to a new city and starting over was extremely daunting. And I just didn't want to do that. I thought, this is my opportunity, too, to have something new. So I got really, really brave. I overcame the intimidation of being a 50-year-old student and coming to a campus where most college students are not 50. But I got over that and just made the steps, and many doors have opened. I've had incredible experiences. I've been able to work with Marcia here since April and learned so much about Tennessee Reconnect, about the state of Tennessee and how much they want to see Tennesseans succeed. And I could go on and on about that, but I'm just very grateful to be in the season of my life, and I'm just in a place where I can do something that I just really, really want to do. Hopefully it leads to greater things, but in the meantime, I'm just enjoying being a student, and I enjoy encouraging other people to not be afraid to step out, no matter your age, your situation, your location, any of that, because you can do it.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I got a lot in common with my panel mates up here. And I think a lot of us adults, when we start talking about our stories, we all come from we might be diverse in our backgrounds, but we all have this common thread is where we lived, like many of you folks out there might have. We've lived these whole first lives without a college education. And I knew as a young guy graduating out of high school that I just did not have the discipline to execute college. It wasn't going to happen for me. I felt like I needed to mature a little bit. I had the maturity at 17 to recognize that I didn't have what it took to be in college, or so I had told myself. So I joined the Marine Corps, and then I got out of the Marines and got a job firefighting down in Atlanta. And then before long, I was married and having kids, and I had 3 of them back to back. And then, as life works out, you end up getting caught up being all about your family. I put my wife through college, then I put all 3 of my kids through college, and then they grew up and had a son wounded horribly in Afghanistan. And then I was so preoccupied with all of that, then I lost my wife of 25 years in a car accident. Then I left and went overseas as contractor and was living in Saudi Arabia for several years, and then came back and started flying a helicopter again as a medic. I'd always done that kind of on the side. And the woman I met was working on her master's degree. And my eldest son, the one that had been wounded, had graduated from college. And all of them were like, "Hey, it's your turn, Dad. Why don't you go back to school?" And I was like, "Man, I'm not going to school at 50. I'm going to look like Mr. Deeds," if y'all remember that movie. I was like, I'm not going to know how to use my phone. I certainly don't know how to use a computer. I'm going to embarrass myself. And they're like, "You can do it, Dad." So they were all cheering me on, and I got 2 of them that are nurses, right? So they're like, "You can do this, Dad. You can do it." And I didn't think that I could, and I kept making excuses until my wife and my eldest son walked up and dropped the Tennessee Reconnect flyer, and they said, "You got no excuses." And so I can't say enough about Marcia and the folks at Adult Services because it was scary just walking up here and registering, And I felt really self-conscious because I'm bald and old, and there are like all these pretty young people running around, and I was like, I ain't gonna fit in. But I very quickly did, and connected really well with, especially when I get into the nursing program, with a lot of the younger folks. They were like, "Hey, this old guy's pretty cool over here." He's like, so they all kind of like tucked me up under their wings. So it was kind of like a role reversal. But the whole process of, having the guts to get back in to school and just following through, it really opened up a lot of doors, and it gave me it's like a new lease on life. You know, for those of us that had done a full lifetime before, then having this new door open up and being able to get a do-over in many, many regards. So that's what got me here. Thank you, Marcia.
It's good.
Okay, our next question. How did you balance family, work, and school responsibilities during your educational journey? How many of you find this to be very difficult?
Bunch of hands went up.
So there's no if it's not difficult, it's not worth it. All right. Anything that comes easy is easy gone. And what you guys are doing here is digging roots that you will see sprout out, like my man said down here, like it's wide open. You have no idea where your degree is going to end up branching into. But I'll be honest with you, besides meal prepping on Sundays, I would meal prep. So when I first started with the electrical program, I was coming 4 days a week. I was co-oping. So I was the 4:30 to 11 p.m., which means I worked from 6 to 4 every day. My teachers allowed me to come in 30 minutes late. I would spend the first break getting caught up. I would meal prep 3 meals per day on Sunday and take them with me to work. When I got tired, I'd fall asleep out in the driveway or out here in the parking lot behind TCAT. And, but, you know, that's the grit. That's the grind. The real way I was able to balance my work life, family life, I'm in ministry as well, so that was a huge part, was I engaged the faculty and staff. When the time came for me to realize that I'm wore out, I went to my advisor. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I just can't keep doing this. I'm going to be burned out. It's affecting me at work. It's affecting me at school. You know, like, what do I do? You know, my only option was no option. Like, do it again later when you save the money up or have the time, right? Well, when I incorporated my advisor, she quickly went through my record. And see, I had went to college straight out of high school, but it chose a life of dealing in drugs for about 10
Should have joined the Marine Corps, bro.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, I don't think they would have took me. But it was, you know, during that, you know, I had a riddled past, you know, but she looked into my riddled past, and she seen where I had credits that transferred. She started asking me what I did. Like, what did you do before you went to prison? Like, what's your goals now? And I was like, well, I've got experience in project management. You know, I've ran jobs. I'm familiar with the construction site. And she said, oh, we have a construction engineering degree here, and you can go down to 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, and that'll free up your time. And so she found a way, instead of looking at reasons why it wouldn't work out, which is where my mind was. Okay, she was able to take the time to sit down, see where I was, see what I was about, and put a plan and a recipe together. That recipe ended up me going to UTC and graduating with my engineering degree.
All right.
So that was a huge role. I was also very communicative and open with my employers. I let them know my goals. The whole time they was just as involved in my school as I was, as the staff was. It was, hey, I'm doing this. Where do you think I should study in order to grow in this field? And I was just transparent with my employers, and my employer ended up giving me a $2 raise, which offset the days and the hours that I was not there. But because I would have to go during the day instead of night. So he offset it. Communication. If you ever feel like you don't know where to turn, and if you ever feel like you don't have an avenue here or you're hitting a hole in the wall, it's because you ain't talked to somebody and utilized the resources and people that's here. Yep. It's hard to make that first initiative step, but it's okay to run in there and be like, I'm about to withdraw. You know? And you utilize them, because in Marsha's, I mean, she's pivotal. She cares. She really does have a passion, and it trickles down. Yeah. And it's here. It's in the staff. It is the privilege of being at Chattanooga State versus a university. You still get the same quality courses. Mine transferred. I was on the transfer path as well. It knocked off a year up there. And I'm here to let you know, like, it is above par. And also, Chattanooga State helped me to learn that because I was in here during COVID. I did a lot of my stuff online at home. But they told me that if I had the right resources and the right people to communicate with and the will, I could learn anything. Yeah. And when I applied that to every area of my life, it balanced itself out. Now, it's not to say that there wasn't people who was on board with me, sacrificing with me. I do have an 18-year-old daughter, but you will be amazed at how the community will come in around you when you're focused and you're dedicated. And if you don't have that community, again, it's because you're not plugging in and engaging here with the faculty and staff. That would probably be the biggest thing that helped me.
Absolutely.
That's great. I'll never forget, I went into the office of the dean of the math department. I had to take statistics.
Yeah.
I had not been to school in over 25 years. The last math that I had taken that I'm aware of was algebra, and I had a hard time with that. So you're telling me that I have to take statistics? I was failing. I went to him in tears, crying. What am I going to do? One thing about Chattanooga State, it's really like a family within a family. Yeah. Somebody is going to help you. Yep. You just have to ask. Yep. And sometimes it's hard for us to do that. I was in the math lab 3 days a week, and also in class, which I had to even go back to rounding, just making sure that I was putting things in the right place. You may be embarrassed to ask, but you never know what kind of help and what doors will be open if you don't ask. Going through school, starting over is like having a newborn baby. Newborn baby, when you first come home that first week, your house is a total mess. You have no idea. You don't know where anything is. Things are all over the place. But then you hone in and you ask your husband, your friends, your church, get around like-minded people that can help you and to also support you. There were many a nights my husband and I had breakfast dinner, bacon, eggs, sausage, pancakes, hot dogs, things that are quick, lasagna, things that will last the next day. That's how we got through it, and we just helped each other. Yeah. And my kids, believe it or not, they were so supportive. They were just behind me all the way with it. So ask, and communicate. I'm in school now with, don't get me wrong, the Gen Z kids, and it's a whole different story. But I will tell you, a heart knows a heart.
That's right.
They love me in these classes, and I love them, and they know I do, and they see the goal that I'm trying to get through, which is graduating. And my cohorts, they're amazing. There was a gentleman, I'll say this, I'll be done, a gentleman here at Chattanooga State, I'll never forget it. He was about 18, 19 years old. He sat next to me. He bit his nails through the whole class, and he had his hair, it was kind of like flipped up like that, had a little bang in the front, and I turned around to him and I said, I really like your hair. And he said, my mother hates it. I said, okay, take people for who and how they are. Just be respectful to people. You will be surprised the people that will help you. Yeah. That kid helped me get through that class. Mm-hmm. I didn't know where to click, where to move, where to bring my mouse to, nothing. And he helped me. So don't be afraid to ask, and that's how I got through it.
truly is humbling to be back in that position to need that kind of help. But I am truly, truly blessed and fortunate to have an extremely supportive husband and adult children and a mother. I do have a live-in mother. My mother, life just kind of sort of unfolded for her that she lives with me, and so I do have a lot of responsibilities at home. That's even before I took the part-time position with adult services. But if it weren't for my family and their just steady support, like never ever giving me a hard time about anything. My husband is super, super patient. And my daughter-in-law is such a blessing because, statistics was also one of my very first classes. Once I decided to become a student, I had to take statistics as well. I'm an English major, which means I'm not science and math strong, okay? It's just the truth. It's just the truth. But oh well. And so statistics, I got almost down. I think I had about 4 weeks left, and I was having a complete come apart. I just was having a meltdown, and it was taking me 8 hours just to do like 1 week's, or one assignment, because it was just like reading, a foreign language to me with numbers. I don't like numbers. But I literally had a breakdown, and I just got up from the table, and I went to my bedroom, and, I don't want to offend anyone, but I am a person of faith, and I did get down on my knees, and I was like, I cannot do this, and I'm quitting. And I'm not, if anybody knows me, I am not a quitter, but at that moment, I was going to quit. And all of a sudden, I just got myself together, wiped my face, and I got up, and I went back to the table, and I finished. And my daughter-in-law, who is brilliant and has a master's degree and is going to be a CPA really soon, she just kept saying, Amy, C's get degrees. C's get degrees. But I'm not happy with that. But, however, I did finish with a C in statistics, and I will take it all day long because it just about killed me. My GPA suffered a minute for it, but it's back up there, way up there. So thank God. But if it weren't for the support of my family, I would not be able to do it. It is hard. I did choose to do online classes because of the responsibilities that I have at home. So there's no shame in that. If you can't come to campus and be an in-person student, that's okay. If you can, that's great. You get the same degree. And I think this might sound a little strong, but I am a firm believer that people do what they want to do. Like, if you really, really want something, you're going to make it happen. There's lots of excuses. We come across so many adults through adult services that have challenges that, I'll be honest, it breaks my heart. And when I get off the phone sometimes, I'm like, wow, they're absolutely incredible for being on this journey of trying to better their life and get a higher education. So I do hear a lot of stories that people have much greater challenges than I do, or maybe even anyone here on this panel. We never know what others are going through. So community, like they've all said, is extremely important, whether that community is at home supporting you as you're in front of a screen, or whether it's right here on campus. There are so many, and I say this all the time, there are so many support services here at ChattState that, man, they're so available to you, and they're so ready to help you. And if they can't, they will find someone who can. So I'm really grateful for all of that.
I echo Michelle's sentiment about the statistics, except I got an A. But I was in that math center every freaking day, man. I was up there raising my hand, and I would just say that, like, for all of you that are considering it or you're getting started off in it, each class has a rhythm. I mean, some of it's heavy on the text, some of it's going to be heavy on lecture. Get with your professor early on. The difference for me is I was not afraid to say I'm stupid and I need help. So I went to everybody. I went to the VA. office down there, and I walked in the day that I started statistics. I went down there, I was like, I need somebody to help me. I'm a rock, and they were like, we hook you up. And then same with the Math Center. And I ended up meeting a lot of really odd young people. Like I had a dude that was helping me statistics, had green hair. But dude got me an A, right? Because I was going to him and saying, hey, I can't do this on my own. I did not have any reservations about asking for help. And I think that's the key, right? Because even in the nursing program, I found out that we're stronger as a group. If you just grab people, no matter what they look like, grab everybody together and say, all right, what's your strong suit? And if you can organize and talk and get with the folks that you're going through the class with, and go to your professors, because I remember in high school loathing my teachers. When I got here, I began to love my professors because I realized that, hey, they want me to succeed. They're not wanting to fail me. They want to see me be something. So I would go to each one of them and be like, hey, here's my work schedule. And they were like, why are you showing me this? I'm like, because I'm going to ask you what you believe best practices are going to be. And then I would build a plan for each class and each semester. And then I would execute that plan. And sometimes that meant that I would wake up at 4 for my prayer time, and 5 I'd start studying before the rest of the house got up and started filling up my inbox, right? And then when I was at work, I would carve out a little bit of time. If we weren't flying missions, I would study there. And then I'd get home and study as well. And once you get into the rhythm of each, and it differs from each class to class, but if you start asking questions and going to your professors, going to the Math Center, most of there's tutors available up there. They're wandering around just looking for people to help, especially bald-headed old guys. They're like, I was like, man, can you help me here? But they jumped in, and it was really cool to see these young people slapping me on the back when I was showing them my homework. Look, man, I passed. They got excited for me. So I would say, not being afraid to ask questions, getting with your instructors, get with your professors, go to everybody here that's willing to help. Like Amy said, there is just a plethora of services available. All you got to do is engage with them. I will mention one more anecdotal story. Did y'all know, I did not know this, but when I was going to my advisor, I took chemistry in high school. And like statistics, you got to have chemistry too. We had to have a science to get into the nursing program. So I took it in high school. I was like, I ain't got to worry about it. And they were like, Mr. Condry, it's too old. And I was like, what? It's got an expiration date, like milk? And they were like, they've added elements to the periodic table since I went through. They weren't lying. They really did. They were like, this when you graduated high school, this was not on here. So they're discovering new elements. That's how old I am. So I had to go back through chemistry. And this is the only time I really screwed up, y'all. All I needed was intro, and before I knew it, I was like, man, this is really hard. This is like, I did chemistry in high school, and I'm struggling here. And they were like, I went to the professor, and she's like, did you tell me you were trying to get in the nursing program? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, all you had to do was the intro. And I said, well, ain't that what I'm in? She goes, no. She said, you were in a first year full-on, like for people that are pursuing a degree in chemistry. And I was like, well, it's too late to withdraw, so I'm just going to have to math it out, and I did. I fought my way through that and came out with a B. But it wasn't without help. So that's what I just encourage you guys and girls that are out there considering this, or you're doing it. Talk, ask for help, don't be afraid. Ain't nobody laughing at you. They're not. They want to see you succeed. Thank you, man.
Good. Hey, I want to put something on. I want to put something on top of that. We're all talking about talking, and we're all talking about helping, and everybody's like, oh, God, but you don't understand. Okay, today being a business owner and helping develop 3 other $1 million companies, when I hire somebody, I want to know if they're like that. I want to know if they're willing to lower their pride, humble themselves, and say, what's that mean? No, I don't. Show me. I'd rather my superintendents and advisors come to me saying, man, they are getting on my nerves, than to have someone say, well, what's wrong with them? So it's these underlying things that you learn here as you function amongst the community that are really going to make you profitable, valuable. It'll set you apart in everything, not just your work. So pay attention to the little things.
Absolutely.
Okay, our next question. As a former Tennessee Reconnect student, How did the program support your educational journey?
Financially, of course, which was huge, for me, because I was not at a place to where I could handle it financially. But Marsha, you do such a great job here with it. I mean, it made me feel. I felt older too. I was like, man, I'm out of place, but it didn't matter because I knew them, and I was here with Marsha and my advisors. Like when I connected with them, they gave me hope. They seen something in me that has encouraged me to do the same thing with my employees and look for it in other ones. It's just, I know I keep talking about staff and stuff up here, but like the biggest thing other than financially is, man, it gave me hope. It gave me direction, and then introduced me to people who changed my life. And I understand it's a special program. Like it's not, like the people who are involved in it are directed towards it. Like it's their heart. It's what they want to do, and you can just really see that, man. It helped me step back out into a world, and seeing myself different, and allowing the world to see me a little bit, more different. So financially and that right there.
I would say it definitely helped financially, but Tennessee Reconnect really puts you in a class by yourself. It's a whole program, and there are a lot of people behind the scenes that you don't know about that are there to help you. I mean, it's wonderful to be able to have a program that wants to see you succeed. How many programs are really, really like that want to see you succeed? And therefore, they seed into you, you seed back into the community, which makes the world and the place that you live in a better place.
Amen.
So that's what I want to do. I am going for social work. And in my social work journey, I have been led to be an advocate for our senior population. They need it so bad. What do you do with your parents when they get to the point where they can't live by themselves? They can't take care of themselves. The grandparents that are at home, we are in a baby boomer stage right now, and there are a lot of people that are in their 80s and 70s, and they need help. They took care of us, and it's time for us to try to help take care of them. There's a lot of things taken away from them now. You see what the state of our economy and world is today. But we can't forget about them. And that's what I want to do. I want to learn more about how I could help them for housing, for food. Take that pressure and stress off of the siblings. Myself, I had to help my mom. She passed in 2018. There's so many things that I did not know that I know now. So that's my passion and my goal. But Tennessee Reconnect it's really like a godsend, and I really appreciate Chattanooga State for having it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about because, I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but not every state has something like Tennessee Reconnect.
Yeah.
And what is so incredible about it for me is that not every family or not every person qualifies for grants like Pell Grants or other funded scholarships or grants to go to school. And again, at my age, the thought of having to borrow or do a lot of student loans to go to school was like, oh my gosh, why would I do this to myself, at this stage of life? Why would I go and get a lot of student loans? And then, like I said, when my son introduced me to Tennessee Reconnect, I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I can get so far into this thing tuition free, with no major stipulations other than I don't already have a degree. I'm independent, and what's the other? Independent, and don't have any outstanding student loans. So it was just like, wow. So honestly, Tennessee Reconnect was just like the final thing. Like, why? I have no excuse. I have no excuse to not do this. So I'm very grateful for the financial part of this journey being covered by Tennessee Reconnect. And I actually got to be a note taker at a meeting that Marcia took me along to. I was allowed to be a note taker in this state meeting where with the TBR, that's the Tennessee Board of Regents, and THEC, and a lot of different representatives all along the state. And I literally could hardly take notes because I was just blown away at the sincerity and the genuine heart and interest of these people to see Tennesseans get the education that they need to better their lives and ultimately better our state. So their goals and the very heart of what they are and what they do is just, it's very sincere, it's very genuine, and it's very generous. It's very generous. And there's, if you know an adult or you yourself as a guest here tonight are thinking about going back to school, you should. And as long as you meet those requirements, Tennessee Reconnect is going to help you do that. I mean, it's huge. Basically, I've had half of my school journey paid for by Tennessee Reconnect. They did their part. I do my part by keeping the GPA and doing what they require, and they've just been phenomenal. I will say this too. This is my last term. I graduate in December. I had a balance from a class that, because there are some classes, if you take classes online, that are not always covered. There's fees that are not always covered, and I had a sizable balance, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay. Well, I went to check to go and try to take care of that balance, and I had received a TBR scholarship, a completion scholarship. So that they're so invested in me finishing. They're so invested in you completing your degree and your time here that they'll do whatever it takes. I didn't even ask for it. So it was a completion scholarship, yeah. So that's just, they sincerely, we can't say it enough, they sincerely want to see you succeed. And so I am truly, truly grateful for that. To be able to have this part, walk away with my degree and debt-free.
Yes. I look at the same. It helped me financially. There was no way I was going to be able to do it on my own. Just didn't have the capacity, the financial capacity for it. So it opened it up. But also, and I don't know if it's been mentioned yet, but it really helped socially as well, because I don't know if other states have campuses with a bunch of 50-year-olds walking around on it. So it's like I got to see people that were in my peer group, and you always look for them when I go in the class and start looking around to see where the mature people were. I'd be like, we'd meet eyes, be like, hey man, you're in here too, So it was really cool that and I'm very thankful for the taxpayers of Tennessee that have helped fund this, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
Amen with that.
Marcia, if you really wrap your head around it, and the more you get in depth on what Tennessee Reconnect is, it'll change your heart to be the same way. Like, when you really wrap your head around the blessing, the gift, the favor, whatever, the financial aid, whatever you want to call it, when you really wrap your head around what it is, where it came from, and the intention behind it, it really sets a tone to pay it forward. Yeah. And I think that a lot of students that come out of here and go work in the field, that's reflected with those who have been through Tennessee Reconnect. They just seem to be a different type of student with a different heart that think differently. And it's really important to wrap your head around the whole concept of Tennessee Connect, because it'll get in your heart, and it'll show in your work.
And one thing that some of you may not be aware of, Tennessee Reconnect started several years ago. They first started the program in 2017. Former Governor Haslam of Tennessee, and we are the first state in the U.S. to have this type of program. Wow. So I am proud of Tennessee. And it started out as a pilot grant, so it was limited funding. But now, if a person qualifies, we don't have to say you're on a wait list. You are going to receive it. So we have one more question, and then I'm going to see if anyone in the audience has a question. And then we're going to have some really good door prizes. I wonder who the lucky person will be to win the AirPods. Okay, what advice? And I know you've already shared some excellent advice, but what advice would you give to current adult students? Because like I said earlier, it's very, very difficult to be an adult student and juggle so many responsibilities.
I'll recap, man. Communicate, be transparent, be vulnerable when you're struggling. Let people know. Let the people around you know. Get your family involved. Bring them to these things. Get them invested. But really, guys, just keep this in mind. Like, we all think that we stepped in too late. I'm here to tell you that the time is now. The time is perfect, and the best is yet to come. And if you walk around with that attitude, knowing where you're at and knowing where you're going, the path will fall right in front of you. It's like he said a minute ago, it can get wide.
Yep.
That's why you got to communicate. Everything that we've talked about, I'll just bullet point on those. But the time is now. You're right where you're supposed to be, and the best is yet to come. And when you don't think that, just remember you looked at a panel full of people who told themselves that, and we got through it. And you'll miss it when it's gone.
Yep.
So don't ever doubt it. Don't ever doubt you're right where you're supposed to be, and it's perfect timing, because that will encourage you to do the next step.
One thing I will say also as well is I really appreciate the different courses that they have at Chattanooga State. I'm interested in social work. Then we have a nursing program. There's so many programs here. Everybody's not on the same path. Everybody has their own different path and what they want to take. And what she may like is fitting for her may not be fitting for me. So that's a great thing also, too. I think they got a truck driving school here or something like that, or just...
CCAT.
That is amazing. Mm-hmm. So, that might be a good fit for you, but maybe not a good fit for me. Stay the course.
Yes.
Some people may say, "Oh, I'm not meant to go to school." If you don't think that you're meant to go to school, you can learn things in other ways instead of being at the university. But at least put your foot out there in the water and see how it is. Because anything and everything is possible if you just trust that you can do it. You'd be surprised the people that will rally around you to encourage you to go to school if that is what you want to do. Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, I would just encourage everyone to know that you are worthy of investing in yourself. When you invest in yourself and you cultivate what is on the inside of you, then other people see that, and then they are more willing to invest in you. And once that starts to happen, like everyone has said, it snowballs into greatness. I mean, everybody in this room has that potential. Greatness might look different to me than it does to you, but everybody has that potential to be successful and to live a life of, success also looks different to everyone else, but it can only come when you're willing to invest in yourself, stay the course, invite others along. When the right people want to invest in you and your journey and your future, allow them to, and just go with it. Just don't stop. Be that person that goes in there, do what you got to do, wipe your face, roll your sleeves back up, and go back to the table and do statistics and finish it and see great things happen for yourself.
I just wanted to say really quick, too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in front of you. When I left Chattanooga State and I went to UTC, I started at Chattanooga State because I hadn't been to school in so long. I just took one class, just one. Then I took 2 classes. Then I took 3 classes. So it's all a matter of juggling out your schedule also as well and seeing if you can do it. My journey is not like her journey. When I got to UTC, I was still taking classes, but I had to be approved to be into the social work program, is what it was. So a lot of the kids or students, I would say right now, the cohort that I'm in the middle. Because when I was at Chattanooga State starting over, these young people had already started as freshmen. Now they're seniors. And I'm a senior, but I have 7 more classes to take, and then my internship, and I'm done with my bachelor's degree, where they're graduating in May. So I'm like a semester behind. But I have a lot of the students that I've collaborated with in this year, and then I've met some of the students that's going to graduate for next year. So I have a lot of people rallying around me. One last thing I was going to say, get somebody in your class that you can connect with.
Yeah.
So important. Get their phone number, get their email address, talk to them here and there, send each other messages. How you doing? Do you need help with this? I'm here, I'm available. You want to go for coffee? You want to go for tea? You want to go for lunch? Many hours I have closed down Panera Bread.
Yeah.
I really have. The library. Last car out of the parking lot. Security walking me to my car. I'm serious. But I was determined. I was determined to do it. And I just want to be a light for someone else because someone has been a light for me.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's it.
I really can't improve upon that. I'll just say this, bullet points, talk, communicate, find a brother or sister. Mm-hmm. But the words that I'll give you are encouragement is that, like, sometimes that river, because that's what it's really like. When you get into class, you get into a program, a rigorous program like the nursing program, or social work for that matter, anything, whatever your pursuit is, it'll look like this raging torrent, right? Choppy, white water. It's scary looking. But if you can have the courage to just get in and not try to swim up current, don't swim upstream. I promise you, if you can keep your head above the water, that river is going to go around the bend, and it's going to take you right over to that stage where you're going to walk across with your cap and gown. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is stay in. Yeah. Don't get out. Yep. Stay in. It's going to get you down there, and you're going to graduate. I believe in you.
Yeah.
And for 40 years, I've been giving advice to students, but the one thing I always emphasize to our students is to not be afraid to ask for help, which you have mentioned. And the most important thing is when you start that educational journey, there's going to be ups and downs. I remember many years ago when I first started college, now that was 1977, okay? Baby boomer. Younger end, though. But I remember one of my professors talking about how life is, and he drew this on the board back when we had the old chalkboards, and he drew the lines going up and down, up and down. Then he took a straight line in the middle, and he said, this is life. He said, you're going to have your high points where everything seems to be great, like tonight when someone wins the AirPods. Woo, we're going to be way up here, right? And then the low points when you're about ready to give up, like Amy said, with the statistics, and you're thinking, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then just the middle of the way where everything's just sort of moving along, not really bad, nothing really great, but just normal. And that's the way life is, but you have to always remember that there's going to be the good days and there's going to be the bad days. The important thing is never give up. Grit. You got to be determined. You got to say nothing is going to stop me. If I have to cut back my hours, sometimes I've seen students go from full-time back to part-time. Now, I will be honest, I have never recommended working full-time and going to school full-time. It's too hard. It's just too hard. But always make sure you balance, have time management, and make sure that you're not just living a life where you're studying and working. You've got to have some me time. You've got to have some time to, stress management. Very important. Have some fun and enjoy your educational journey, but don't bite off more than you can chew. I don't want to forget to thank everyone for being here today. I hope you've enjoyed the evening. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let's give a round of applause to our panelists. They did an outstanding job.